So today,
So the thing though is that most loan officers are not understanding both sides of the transaction to be able to negotiate the contract as well as get the lender credits.
absolutely, because and that is so fundamental. The one-stop shop, and believe me, it is not easy. We go to school, we study to do understand both sides is not easy, and I've put in the work and experience gathered that I understand both sides. I'll share an incident with you. It's so interesting. I'm working with a client right now, and they have another realtor who is involved in the transaction, kind of overseeing the transaction. And they also want we do referral partner programs, so they're referral partners. And the very basic things of a real estate contract as it is presented by the Florida Real Estate Board and how the Florida real estate works, I was so surprised that as seasoned as they are, they had absolutely no idea for the nitty-gritty parts of the contract. And I was baffled. I was like, there are so many people like that who are out there serving, especially first-time home buyers who already have no idea what's going on.
It's a blind leading the blind.
Absolutely. I have like the stories I hear. Another client came to me and they said, Vanya, I was supposed to close today. So listen to this story. They're calling me, and I was in India, and I was fully functional in India, and I get the call, and she says, I was supposed to close today, but I'm not going to close. I'm calling you because my nephew asked me to call you. I didn't discuss with my nephew when I was ready to buy, but now that I'm in that situation, somehow the thing came up, and he's like, what are you doing? Call these people. Something here is not right. I am going to walk away from the closing table.
Right.
So I was like, hold on, what's going on? Explain to me what's going on. So she said, something does not feel right about this transaction. And I feel that the amount of paperwork I've done and everything that I've done, I feel a lot in the dark. So my first question to her was, if you cancel, you're going to lose your deposit. Obviously, that's what everybody would say, right? Because if everything is done and you decide to walk away from the closing table,
right,
you lose your deposit, right?
Sure.
This lady says to me, what deposit? I said, excuse me, when you got...
So you're saying she had never even made a deposit?
No. I said, when you got in the contract, the one thing that holds the contract together is the deposit. It is the promise. It is the money that is put that holds the real estate contract together. And what does your contract say? I quickly made her email me because I can check everything on my phone.
Right.
And it said that there was supposed to be a $2,500 deposit. So I said, did you give that $2,500? And she, you know what she said? What $2,500? No one told me I was supposed to give. Now, red flags everywhere. Who is involved in this kind of a deal?
Right.
So I asked her, is there an agent? Because obviously an agent has to be involved, and they should have. The contract is null and void. You can walk away because you never even gave the deposit.
Right.
That was a blessing in disguise. Then I said to her, send me the closing statement. Let me take a look at that. In that closing statement, the seller was paying $20,000 tax towards her closing cost.
Right.
Out of that $20,000, 17,000 of that 20,000 was being applied to the broker. So this lady, somebody put all of this together, and I was like, she said, but I was getting 20,000. And I said, but you weren't. And I said, open it up on your phone. And I made her circle the whole thing, right? And the point I'm making through this is that there is so much, and by the way the transaction happened, besides the $2,500 that she didn't give, which gave her the opportunity to come out of the contract because the contract was null and void right there, those people who were helping her actually contacted me when she wanted to buy the house through us.
Yes.
To say, hey, we're ready. Can we do the next loan for her? Or can we help her with the next contract? They didn't know that, we're fully involved in it. So, and that transaction, the way it was put together, was perfectly legal, Dax, except the $2,500 part.
Right.
When when your seller is giving you a credit, and if you are not looking, if you don't even know, because you're just like, please make this happen for me. What they were doing was perfectly fine, But this lady would have gotten into such a mess, and then on top of it, the property was under probate.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of issues with the title.
I guess the moral of the story is be very careful. Just make sure you understand what you're getting into with these transactions. We're here to help you. You know, we of course, we help put transactions together based on, you know, all the needs of the parties in that transaction. But we understand where those boundaries are in terms of making sure that everybody is win-win. We want happy buyers, happy sellers, and we believe that that's absolutely doable every transaction.
Well, it is, because in this case, within 2 weeks, we found her another property. We've gotten her $14,000 from the seller as seller credit, and we've gotten her another $9,000 as lender credit.
Right.
And all of that money is being applied completely for her
Yeah.
expenses. In fact, the lender had to cut down on the credit because she has to at least come up with a down payment.
Right.
So guys, the point of all of this is that this is a golden window of opportunity for buyers to step into the prime areas that they were feeling they're squeezed out of.
Tell us about what she bought, though. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms?
She bought a single family home in Tamarack. She wanted to buy a single family home in Tamarack, and
And what was she buying before?
same, a single family home.
Okay.
Everything was identical except it's just a little bit in a different area
Yeah.
of Tamarack. So very identical. Nothing is, we found this.
But the down payment is the same for both transactions?
Well, now she's going to come up with a lot less,
Okay.
because the money that legit was being given to cover her costs
Right.
is going to cover her cost.
Right.
She's paid a deposit. She's done everything. We have a clear to close. We're just waiting for some final checks, and then she'll be closing on her home. But the point I'm making, and I don't want to deviate from it, this is definitely the time, guys, to step back into the market. Even if you already own a home and you feel that I would love to have another home in Broward, please, a lot of people have this misconception. I mean, they call me, but you know, Vanya, I'm not a first-time buyer, so I know I'm not going to get anything, any credits, anything. Wrong, wrong, wrong. The credits we are talking about apply to even investors, guys, not just the first-time buyers. If you, a lot of people are feeling like, what if I could sell what I have? Would that now allow me to get something where I really wanted to? Yes, yes, yes. There's just so much going on. These are the little pocket stacks we get into where millionaires are made.
Absolutely.
And these are also the pockets where people who are not looking 2 years from now go, remember when we had an opportunity to go back in, but we didn't. So please take advantage of this time. Reach out to us. One-on-one is a lot of fun. We can.
You know, I'd give you some numbers as far as property values, you know, over the last 20 years.
Yeah, let's take a break and we'll go over that.
All right. Okay. We'll soon come back.